We pick up where we left off, traveling from Scotland down to England to visit my dad's cousin, Margaret, who he had not seen since 1952.
I was 6.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
6 years old.
6, yeah.
I was
Okay.
6 because I was born in 1946 and that
You're
was
the same as Peter.
1952.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like sort of saying Peter and Mervyn and Margaret Woods and I were
All
more or
the
less
same.
about the same age.
Right.
Holy cow,
Right.
baby boom.
It was just after the war. Just after the war.
Welcome home, dear.
Welcome
Yeah.
home. And the thing was, I was born in
Also-
September, so it had to be the result of
Yeah.
a New Year's party. I always say.
Well,
Mom
because
and Dad
Edie's
had-
birthday
yeah.
was Christmas Eve, and
My dad's
Grandpa's
was Christmas
birthday was
Day.
Christmas Day. Grandma would have us come to the house or their apartment, and we would just, I don't know how these two did it,
Oh,
because we drove like 30 miles into Chicago. We'd go there and we'd have dinner and this big party, and we had to stay up until midnight,
yeah.
and
So
we
that-
had cake at midnight, and we sang happy birthday to both of them. And then Mom and Dad would, eventually be able to go home. And then, of course, you guys were little. I don't even think you were around yet.
no.
But we'd come home, and they'd have to do all the Santa Claus. And, and
What do you
then
mean
here
they
we-
had to do
we
the Santa
wake up
Claus
at,
stuff?
like,
What are you
6
talking
o'clock
about?
in the
What
morning,
Santa Claus isn't real?
do you mean? Santa Claus
Is
isn't
it
real?
Come on. They had to do all the Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Santa was a big thing because
Yeah.
we remember,
I remember
when we
getting
went
to bed around
to
4
America.
o'clock.
And then we'd
We
wake
went
up
to
at
this
6 or 7
apartment,
o'clock in the
and-
morning,
and-
and they'd be like,
furnace inside the house,
oh.
and the chimney going up.
Oh, the same
Yeah.
And then
That's
I'd
all it
cook
was.
dinner for
The
the
first thing
Yeah,
Peter said,
everybody would come to the house
he
for
just-
dinner.
Hey, Santa
Right.
can't do that.
Oh, Santa's gonna get in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the wonderful things
And
about
when
life. That
when
you
did you
remember.
last see Peter?
I haven't seen Pete. We were in
It's about-
Canada together.
Well, he came to the house, though,
Yeah, because we
Well,
were not
yeah,
paying
I've
for
got-
the
I've got
same.
pictures. Yeah.
about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
4 or 5
He
years
just
ago.
came over, and he was
When
here
was
for
it?
He
2
was-
weeks.
yeah,
When
he
was
just
it
went
Peter
back on the
stayed with
30th.
us? Peter visited us
Yeah.
when we went to York. With
We
him.
never went to York, Warwick.
Warwick Castle we
We went to
went
Warwick
to.
Castle. We
We
took
went
there
to-
to Warwick Castle, and
I can
Roseanne must
remember.
have been about 15 at a time.
Oh, I don't think Roseanne was just right. Just that.
Well, we're
little-
going to see him this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
About
so
20
we're-
years
yeah,
ago
we're
since
gonna
we
go
saw
down there.
Peter.
Yeah,
yeah,
it would be.
yeah.
Sunday,
I can
Monday.
always remember that day, and the way home I get stung where I was.
So,
And she's just lovely. You know Amy McCandless.
Oh, she's
she
super.
is
And her and
absolutely.
Peter
Yeah.
came and stayed
Yeah.
with us when she was now called Alistair.
Yep.
Is the oldest one.
Alistair
Well,
is-
Alistair
Yeah.
is that photograph we get taken outside our
Yep.
when where
Yeah.
Ian and I lived in Port Glasgow.
Yeah.
That photograph there,
Yeah.
and that's Alistair and my David, my
Mm.
youngest
Yeah.
boy. That we had a nice time with them.
Yeah.
Amy laughed at me because I think there's a lot of Scottish people inclined to do it. The way I cooked, she said to Peter, Margaret, she boils everything. And I said, I don't boil everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
can remember I made this soup. I can't remember, somebody had said to me about making soup, and I made it, and I said to Ian, I've made some soup. And of course, I can't remember whether we're that busy talking and I'd put too much stuff in. And we all, because we lived in a split level house and the kitchen was at the bottom. And they came down the next day to get some lunch, and they all came in, and I said, how many lumps of soup would you like? 1 square or 2? It's solid. You could have cut it with a knife. Instead of creeping, I could have cut it. It was that. If I put that much rice, I wouldn't put rice. It was like, what was it? Split peas and lentils. And,
yeah.
Oh, I can always remember
Yeah.
Amy killing herself laughing. And she says to Peter, she just boils
We,
everything in this kind
We tried to get-
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that.
She does steps
There you
at
go.
home, so.
Thank you.
As I was saying to Margaret last night after we came home, after talking to you, I feel so humble that
Oh, you
I
don't know
can-
when you're
I
right.
can actually send you a letter and it means so much to you. And as I says to Margaret, I feel so humble about that.
Well,
It's,
I'm not,
every letter he gets.
if I open that phone and they see that there's a letter and it's got your name on it, my heart just goes.
Oh,
you know?
he starts. Oh,
I mean, I got a letter, and I can't wait to read it.
All out,
And then I
and
print
then he has
them.
to show us. I can read it, but he has to read it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Well,
well,
Read
he's
it
better
to
at
me.
it because
Hey.
Well,
he
yeah,
sounds
he,
like
he,
Bill.
respect.
he puts the
It's
accent
respect.
on it.
I know, but I'm just
Oh.
telling you, you meet very few people in your life that you can really feel that way about. And I do feel that way. about
Yeah.
you. To me, William, you're a William
The
Shakespeare.
dog.
You're right better than that. Other Willie, I know.
I just,
No, I,
as you saw, Roseanne went to the school just up the top of the road here,
Yeah.
the primary school. And you know, there were kids, she would be about 10, I think. Margaret will correct me later. But so this day, the school decided they were trying to raise funds, you know, for equipment. And what they're doing, getting all the kids to do what they called a sponsored walk.
Yeah.
And it was a case of, we've got a football field, a soccer field across the road here.
Yeah.
And they were going to walk them around the soccer field. And you know, like, you sponsored them for a certain amount.
Yeah.
For every
Yeah,
year.
where we live, yeah.
And they asked the parents to help organise this and look after the kids and give them a bit. So we said, well, me and Margaret says, let's make it a bit of fun for the kids. And she says, how? So we decided, I don't know how, but we decided we'd dress up.
Oh.
So I went and got a gorilla suit.
Oh,
And Margaret dressed up as a sailor with sweets sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like that. But I had to go, the day of the walk, I was taking part in the afternoon and they were doing it at 1 o'clock, but I had to go for a job interview in the morning.
Oh.
So Margaret went up to school at lunchtime, I went for the job interview, I came back and I thought, right, I'll get dressed in the gorilla suit and go up and meet them. Now to get to the football park, you go down this little alley, this little lane, it's covered with trees.
Yeah.
You know, it's a footpath covered with trees. I thought, I know what'll be fun. I'll go down, you know, because I got up to school, they hadn't gone to the football park yet. I thought, this'll be fun. I'll go, and I climbed up a tree. I climbed up a tree that was going across this footpath
In a gorilla
Oh no,
in a gorilla suit.
Oh my god.
So I'm sitting in this tree and I could hear all the kids screaming and that, and I thought, oh, they'll be coming in a minute, they'll be coming in a minute. Unknown to me, they decided that the day before it had rained heavy and the football field would be very wet and muddy. So they weren't going to get the kids going round that, they would just go round the playground in the school. So they were doing it at the school and I'm sitting up this tree going, where are they? Where are they? No sign of them.
Change of plans.
After about 10 minutes, quarter an hour, I thought, I better go and see what's happening. So I'd done nothing more than jump down out of the tree, you know, grabbed a branch, swung down out of this, and landed on the path. I never noticed this old man walking down the path.
Oh
As I jumped down onto the tree and landed on the path, I saw this old guy go, oh!
That was,
And I just went walking up past
Yeah.
him, sort of. To this day, I don't know if that guy ended up in the blooming A&E or not.
but he told me a story about the fact that he's a TV star, you know. He was on a television show in London, right? In London. I tell him that one. That's a again, trying
once
to do
again-
something for
It was just
Where?
like that.
Yeah.
I sit, I don't know about you, but you sit and watch the quiz shows on the TV.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm the brain of Britain, but I'm
No, I'm
relatively
better than
intelligent.
you. I'm in jeopardy. Yeah.
So I thought, I could do that. I thought, I'll apply for it. So I applied for this, to get on this TV show, quiz show. and went for the interview and all the rest of it, and they accepted me. And I thought, right, I'll go on. Now, I'd been moved down here about 10 years at a time, and the bunch of Englishmen I was working with and whatever, and I told them I was going on it. And one of them jokingly turned round and said to me, "Oh, you're going to wear your kilt on it?" You know, a Scotsman.
Yeah.
Because a Scotsman living in England, you get a lot of grief.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you get a lot of banter and that.
Yeah.
So they says, "You're going to wear your kilt?" I says, "I've not worn a kilt since I was 5. The last time I wore a kilt was a page boy at my uncle's wedding when I was 5. I says, "I've never worn a kilt." "You're a Scotsman, you must wear a kilt." I says, "I've never worn a kilt." So I came home and I was thinking about it, and I thought, do you know what, there's an opportunity here. So I went back to work the next day and I said to him, "Right, I'll tell you what, you want to see me on TV wearing a kilt, I'll wear a kilt on TV, you pay me for it." He says, "What do you mean?" I says, "You sponsor me to go on TV wearing a kilt and I'll put the money to charity and you sponsor me." "Yeah, okay then." And you know, I was working with a crowd of about 12 guys, and "What about you?" "But, oh aye, I'd pay you to see that, I'd pay to see that." So that was 12 of them were going to sponsor me, and then next thing I know, say to neighbours, and they says, "Oh, we'll sponsor you."
Yeah.
And it sort of snowballed from there.
Oh wow.
Before I knew where I was on the local radio station
Oh my God.
being interviewed. "I hear you're going on TV and you're going to wear a kilt. You're looking for sponsorship." I says, "Yeah." And as I say, I ended up that we got hundreds of sponsors.
Wow.
And we raised, well, this would be a way back, this is what, Margaret, 25 years ago?
Yeah.
About 25 years ago, and we raised £600.
Wow.
That was a lot of money,
That's
yeah.
fun.
You know, that
That's
was quite a bit.
wonderful.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good too.
Yeah.
He showed us a picture.
Oh,
For something
yeah.
that started out as a joke.
Yeah.
You know,
It really
it
was.
was awesome.
You know,
But like that, and you know, and of course, went on the show, and you know, the show opened up sort of, you know, you get a talk to before you go on,
Yeah.
and then they run the cameras and that. And then the guy that was the host, he says, you know, "Well, you're looking very nice." I was behind a podium.
Yeah.
"You're looking very nice from what we could see, but I understand you're doing this, you know," whatever. I told him it was
Yeah.
"Yeah, doing it for charity." He says, "And what, you wearing a kilt?" "Wearing a kilt?" "Well, let's see." Well, you know, come out from behind the podium.
Yep.
So I went out from behind the podium, and I'm standing there. But it's on a bit of a raised, you know, the podium now, it's on a bit of raised on a platform
yeah.
type thing. And I'm standing there like that, and it's from here to Joe. And he says, "Right, oh, you look nice." He said, "Tell you what, give us a twirl." And I had to twirl round.
Oh.
And I was shit myself, shall I say.
Yeah.
Because my worry was, if I twirl round and go over there, I'm going to land down.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to do that. But
oh,
as I say that,
you're an entertainer. Yeah.
Margaret, I forget how it came about, but let's just say we had a slight discussion.
A slight discussion.
Slight
I
discussion.
was just about ready to hang you.
We had a slight discussion sort of thing about
yeah.
a disagreement about something.
yeah.
So we were just, I'm ready to walk into town, and this discussion escalated a bit, and then Margaret says, "I don't want shopping, take me home." So there we went back, and it was a case of, took Roseanne out, put her in the baby seat in the car, folded the thing up, and of course put the pushchair in the boot and slammed the boot down. You know, and slammed it.
Yeah.
Right? So then, in the car, going to drive home, and I'm sitting there thinking, it's a lovely day, do you know what, the car needs a wash. I'll put it through the car wash. You know, with the rollers and the brushes and the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I went to the local garage, into the car wash, put it in, started the car wash up, and I'm sitting there. And you're sitting, me and Margaret, of course, the discussion had come to an end by this time because we were not talking.
Yeah.
And I mean, not saying a word.
Yeah.
We're sitting there just looking like that, and I'm watching the brushes going over the top and come down, hit the back, hit the boot. And then the brushes turn, stop and go the other way. As it went the other way, what happens? The boot comes up.
Oh.
I'm sitting there. Now, you'll probably ask me when I finish. I didn't think at the time. As people say, why didn't you drive out? I don't know why. I took my brain stopped.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think about is, if them brushes catch that trunk lid, it's going to rip it off,
Yeah.
do a lot of damage. I've got to shut it. Bearing in mind you've got all these water jets and everything, you know, jumping water and everything all down. I opened the door, jumped out, I went around, by the brushes and shut the boot down. Got back in the car.
So
I got in the car, all the jets had been blown over me. If I was to tell you water was dripping off of my nose, that is not exaggeration. I was saturated. Water was running everywhere, the suit, everything soaking, completely saturated. Margaret, because it was a nice day, she'd put a blouse on and a chiffon scarf.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know chiffon.
yeah.
It's not absorbent or anything, is it? I'm sitting there, water dripping off me, running down my face and everything like that. Margaret looks at me and she takes a scarf on and hands me the chiffon scarf to dry me.
Where are they, love?
That plate as well.
You know,
Yeah,
James was.
Oh, they're all mixed.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get extra ones on there. We can
Wow.
fill them back up again. That's pork pie. There's pork pie with pickle. Help yourselves to whatever.
Okay. Now what's in the quiche?
What's a let me think.
Bacon
Shana, what was in that?
The quiche.
Hang on, the box is here. Oh no, we'll get rid of it.
No, no.
Where did-
Oh, excuse
I'd
me.
like a little piece of the quiche. I haven't had it in a long time.
Right.
Just
Shana,
bacon.
don't you
I'll
get
get
the
my
cheese
plate.
out of here?
everything now?
What? The cheese slice.
And she had a new hairstyle at the time.
Everybody gave
And-
me a drink.
Remember?
It wasn't a drink, Joe, it was something you'd eaten, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
right. It had nothing to do with
The,
that.
the drink
No,
had nothing
nothing
to do with it, it was something you'd eaten.
Right.
We were way up on the north side of Chicago, and we lived way out on the southwest end of Chicago at a little town called Cicero. And I was driving a Volkswagen, brand new Volkswagen. And when we got it through, it started. Joe had a new hairstyle. Remember the old beehives?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she had a fall called we called it a fall. And it was an added hair. She had beautiful hair at the time. You had this thing stuck on there, but it's on there with bobby pins probably. We're at the wedding. We're all through. We're on our way home. It's early in the morning. And we're driving down Lakeshore Drive, which is the fastest place to drive. And Joe says, I don't feel so good. I said, hey, open the window, and I can't stop. You know, this thing is. So she opened the window and just turned her face. She didn't stick her head out the window. She was afraid the fall would go off. So she just turned her face, and she let go of everything, and it went to the back window of the Volkswagen. You can imagine what that looked like. I couldn't see out the back. So I had to drive all the way to Cicero, Illinois. We got there. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I bring her in so that she can pray at the ceramic throne and make sure it was all there. And I went back out of the alley. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm hosing down the inside of the car at 3 in the morning. I'm out in the alley between the garages, and this other couple comes up. You know, she's going, I thought you were bad. He said, this guy's washing his car at 3 in the morning. I said,
Washing the inside of it.
Yeah. I hosed down the inside of the car. I had to.
It
It's the
happened.
only
It
thing I
happened.
did.
It really
Oh boy.
happened.
And that was our story.
You'll
But
never
that
live
was-
it down, Mom.
yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah.
You do have a different thing. You know, if you're driving and you can't drink, and you're taking people there that can drink,
Yeah.
and they drink and they get, shall we say, merry,
Yeah.
you don't seem to have the same patience with them whenever you're sober.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I heard that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you know, when you're sober
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
and your people round about you are merry,
Yeah.
your patience wears very thin, Sheila.
Yeah.
You're a good boy. You're a good boy, man.
So much fun. And her daughter.
Sitting in the sun.
He loves being up there,
Uh-huh.
but Margaret doesn't let him go up there. She
Is
keeps
that why
up.
he's keeping an eye on her?
Aye.
Yeah.
She's on and, you know, so it tells you about how Greenock formed and what happened with her. You might like it, you might not. I found it can be a bit boring. So, you know, if you find it boring, don't
I
you?
just opened the page. Guess what page I opened up to? As 1940 moved into 1941, Rose
Yeah.
was awakened one night with a muffled sound of distant explosions, and then soon after, the sounds of planes flying over the town. The following day, she was told that the town of Clydebank, further upriver, had been bombed. The following night, she again heard German bombers heading home after dropping their bombs on Clydebank for a second successive night. Now that's how my life started. 41 with that, and I remember going to the bomb shelters. I was later on, but I still remember it. And we played in that bomb shelter as a kid.
Yep,
It was
we played
dug
in
into the backyard.
Yep.
It was all brick lined, and I remember going down that stair with the stone staircase in the back, down in there and crawling in there at night and listening to the noise and the sirens and the
wasn't it?
searchlights.
spiral.
Oh, yeah.
And then those stairs right up to your house was ever so
It was
steep.
all wood. Yeah, it was
It
all
was all
wood.
wood.
Yeah.
Not
The job as a mom
Swayze.
and dad did
Yeah,
very well.
And that's what we want, a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
So I've kept
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that's how it's written on it, you know, Dirty Dancing Champs. So I've kept it.
If it wasn't for
It's
that,
just coloured water, isn't it? Because we drank it, well I drank it. I think we drank it. I'll say that anyway.
Right.
There you go.
Well, we'll see you later on.
But that was his one request, was to get him some more of that.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Same.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
I'll bring you a little poke to take away with you in the car.
Thank you.
When you're travelling down to Peterson.
Yeah.
Sundays.
Sunday, yeah. Sunday we're heading out. Today's Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Gosh,
is
it's
Friday.
amazing how you lose the days.
I know.
You lose days.
Yeah. And the day of the week doesn't matter to me now.
My turn.
My
turn.
Our time with you
You
is the
okay?
same. We just feel one.
But it's been wonderful.
as I say, we're
you.
glad
Are you gonna be with us tomorrow night then?
Yes.
You and your parents?
And
I
sisters?
can't say enough.
Oh, nice.
Managed to get to have
And no matter what.
I am not coming in.
Just wonderful.
Mom was tired, so we took her back to the hotel to rest for a bit. Sue needed to see a castle. This isn't a castle, but a tower in a local park. Most of the large castles to visit were closed because of COVID while during the pandemic. That was a nice little stop. Get out, walk for a little bit, go for a short little hike. Pretty neat. Hello.
What's yours?
That's it. It's in the shape of a pork pie.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know, because Melton's famous for pork pies, and they've made that shape as a shape of a pork pie.
Gotcha. In the hotel,
Yeah.
this is that same street
This
then.
is the same street,
Okay.
and the one in the where the shops show you in the picture, that's what it was like when we came here in
Okay.
1985.
Oh, okay.
And the market was right along here. All these stalls, they were right along this street, and right, it was full. But just over the years, it's like everything else.
Yeah.
And then COVID came, and whoop,
Yeah.
a lot of it just went
Yeah.
haywire. That's what I was going to get. Oh, you thought the same as me. Both of us seem to think exactly the same thing without talking to each other. I think we've been together too long. I think for him and he thinks for me. And if it's the same in a conversation, I'll just go to say something to him. He'll say, I was just going to say the exact same thing to you.
Where's the girls?
They're still in.
Right. See this shop here? The old pork pie shop. That was built, that's been there since 1850. The baker started there in 1850. That's where they built the original pork pies were made. It got burned down in early 1990s, and they rebuilt it again, and now they've turned it into a tourist attraction, and that's where you get the pork pies in there and things like that. It's every so often, more so in the summer, they actually have like in the afternoon, maybe every afternoon, they'll have the baker in there, and you can go in there and watch them actually making the pie. And you can see it, you know, you go in and see it.
Yeah.
I've got you all one of them. There's one for each of you.
What is it?
A cake.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's called a hunt cake. And what it is, the same baker made it, started making it in 1850, and it was for the fox hunters. That before they go fox hunting, you know, they all meet in the market square,
Yeah.
sit on their horses and have a glass of sherry. And he made this cake so they could have a glass of sherry and a piece of cake before they went fox hunting. The cake is renowned world over as a hunt cake, and you know, it's famous all throughout England. And the thing about it is, it's only a small cake.
Uh-huh.
When you look at it, it's only small and you think, bloody small cake. If you cut a big piece of cake out of it, the same you normally do, you know, you get a cake and you cut a big slice, you will be stuffed.
Oh, really?
It is rich.
Okay.
You only need a small bit like that, and it's only a little bit at a time. So, as I say, you know, there's one for each of you.
Oh,
but
well, thank you very much.
Don't, I hope you could take, well, let's put it this
Do you
way.
want me to run back to the car really fast and put those away so you don't have
Well,
to carry
you
them?
can do if you want.
Yeah, I'll
Feel-
do that.
Feel the weight in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's full of fruit.
Yeah.
So, as I say, hopefully you've got enough weight for the plane sort of thing.
Oh,
if
sure.
not, if you've got to leave them with Peter, leave them with Peter. I don't care.
Or else we can just enjoy them with you.
Like that?
That's nice, Mom.
Oh, okay. I got it. What?
Oh, thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much. We're just having a great time, and thank you for enjoying your beautiful little town.
Oh, look at.
You've been spending money, Joe.
Can't take them anywhere, can you?
Oh, this is fine. I'm making the most of this because I never get out. I couldn't tell you the last time I was in Melton, in town on a Saturday.
Really?
It's the first time this year.
Really?
It is. And it's probably it's the first
Been
time
a-
since the beginning of
Been a couple
COVID.
of, yeah, been a couple of years.
It's been
So
a
everybody's
couple.
out. And it's a nice, it's a, you know, it's a beautiful day too. got a little separated. Everybody going into different shops, so I'm not going to try to locate everybody. Fun little couple of streets to walk down in Melton Mowbray. Do a little shopping. That's St. Mary's Church in Melton Mowbray. Really old headstones from 1600s all the way through. It's a cute little street called Church Street. And on the way, we're gonna go get some coffee and meet up with everybody right up here at the corner. It's my family.
When did Star Wars come out?
Hello, everyone.
We're a pint ahead of you. So.
Oh, let me catch up. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
I have. My mum.
Oh, you're okay.
My mum was the oldest girl.
Okay.
We found out last night when Bill was going through all the photographs of the whole family that James Ware, my mum's brother, he was the oldest. Yeah. So James was the oldest, then my mum, and then my mum, then Margaret, and then Molly. They were all 1 year after the other. You know, I said to him last night, that grandfather of mine was a right randy old bugger.
No, in their defense, they didn't have television.
Yeah. Well, this is it.
As Margaret says, I was working in the shipyards, and it came, as I mentioned before, I think that it was, shipyards were privatised. Margaret Thatcher privatised the shipyards, and then when it been privatised, the company bought it over, says, like, we're going to have to save money. We're going to make so many people redundant. And then the union says, you're not making people redundant. And then, you know, there was a battle going on, and it ended up, I didn't know from one day to the next whether I was going to have a job when I went in or whether I was going to be on strike. So I thought, and I just bought a car on credit at the time. I happened to pay monthly payments to it now. And my daughter, Rosanna, had just been born. You know, family going, and I thought, I can't live like this. You know, the uncertainty of it, I thought, no, I can't. I thought, and as Margaret says, I liked England. And I'd lived in North England, in Northumberland. I'd lived in London. Liked it, but I thought, I prefer the area in between, which is the Midlands, which is here. And I thought, right, we want to move down. Talked to Margaret about moving down here, and she agreed. And so I can remember I went into work one day and asked about redundancy because they were looking for voluntary redundancies. And if you wanted voluntary redundancy, the date was a Friday. I went in the following Monday. Monday morning, 7:30, started work, and we talked about it over the weekend. And I said to her about, moving and getting redundancy and that. And I said, I'll find out about it. Went up to personnel, HR, and said to them, look, redundancy, what's the score with that? Is it too late? They says, no, what do you mean? I says, how much would I get if I took my redundancy? So they went away in the office, came back again, gave me a slip of paper with a figure on it. I looked at it and I says, yeah, okay.
I'll take that.
I says, is it too late to apply for it? Wait a minute, come back with a form, sign there, signed it. He says, right, away home. 20 to 8, 10 minutes later, I was out the door, finished.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, I went home, went to Margaret. I'm finished, I'm out, we can move now. The problem was, came down to Melton, got an interview for a job in Melton, got interviewed 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning. Interview lasted a couple of hours, then the guy turned around and says, right, okay, then we'll offer you the job. I says, right, this was about 11:30, came out the interview and I thought, it's a small town, I don't know if Margaret's like this or not. So I got on the phone to her and I phoned her up and says, I've got a job, but I don't know if you'll like the town. Well, I says, I'll tell you what, I'll be up, bring you down and you can see if you like the town. So I left here, lunchtime, went up to Scotland, 380 miles, 384 mile I think it is, drove up there, picked Margaret up from work, which you finish shift at back at 6 o'clock.
If I remember correctly, I think I still had my overall.
Uh-huh.
I still had the overall that John Menzies, gave you when you worked at this shop. And we just hopped in the car and off we went.
Oh, wow.
So she jumped in the car, we drove back down here that night, got here about midnight, into the hotel. Into the hotel. We booked in there that night, got up in the morning about 7:30, 8 o'clock. We can quick drive round the town, 8 o'clock in the morning, and say, well, this is the town, well, you've seen the size of the town, didn't take long to go round it. This is the town, drove round about it, what do you think? She says, yeah, okay. So then I took her back up the road to Greenock.
380 miles.
380 miles, and time to start work again.
Oh, my.
Unbelievable.
So I told the guy that Monday morning, yeah, I'll take a job, but because Margaret was still working, it ended up I had to move down here myself, and I moved down, stayed in, actually I stayed in a little English pub, a bit like this, and it was a little room up there.
Oh, yeah.
And
My mom and dad, when we moved to Schaumburg in Illinois, outside of Chicago, my mom and dad one night went into a restaurant in Schaumburg, and this guy looks at my mom and it was like almost like, have I met you before? And they started talking, and it turns out that this guy was an American sailor. He came through on the troop ship to Greenock, disembarked onto the railway to go on down to England from there, and it was the troop trains and that. And he remembers that this lady served him coffee or tea and donuts at the pier, and he swears today that that was the lady that sold him.
Really?
And Mom did that. That's what she did. That guy wouldn't let her pay for anything in that restaurant. But he thought for sure that's the lady that took care of me that day, and I needed it. And he came when you were talking about leaving a job when he was at the top of his career. He was a painter and decorator. He worked for it, and he had worked his way up where he knew that was as far as he could go. He was at the top. I think he was making £15 a week, and he just came to a realization that I have 3 sons, and I'm living in squalor. I mean, he knew it, but I didn't know it. And he said, I've got to do something for the boys. You know, the rest of the family, we can't live this way. And that's why they put together the plan to go to Australia. Australia didn't work out because they closed the Suez Canal. That shut down the thing. So then we had to make a rearrangement. But we didn't have any money. It wouldn't cost us anything to go to Australia, but it did to go to America. Aunt Elizabeth and Edith wrote a letter and said, hey, come over here, and if you don't like it, you can go from here to Australia. But we could only afford for one of them to go. So Dad got the right to back up and go to America. And he did. And I remember today going down the street to the West Station with a gang of people. It looked like something out of, what was the movie? Oh, yeah. It's got his raincoat all tied up, raining like crazy. And we got to the station, and all these people were there. It was like a parade, and that. And then he left, and he went to America. My dad landed in Chicago, went out the next morning, got a job. Never out of work the rest of his life. Yeah. He worked into the 70s and was highly regarded and just loved everything. And the funny thing is that when he got to America and he started working with this company, he was teamed up they worked in Sears stores. Uh-huh. And he was the little decorator who decorated the little room settings in the catalogs. He did all that. Uh-huh. And he worked with a carpenter who did all the woodworking and that. That carpenter was a German soldier from Germany. Those two became the best of friends. And at Dad's retirement party, they were the biggest things. And it was just wonderful. But my dad just thought the world of that. And he, as I say, was never out of work, and he loved what he was doing. And it made him happy for the rest of it.
This man would take me to the dogs, to the dog racing. And then, so I went to dog racing, and I went there, and great night, you bet on the dogs and whatever like that, and I thought, this is a great night, yeah, that's great. Came down here to, went on a good night, dog racing with Margaret. Cut a long story short, done a bit of research. Oh, do you know something about this dog racing?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Which is 50 miles away.
So it's a long race too.
Yeah. Racing on tonight. Shall we go? Paid the money, went
Here's the water.
As you're walking down to the arena, they look like bloody big dogs to me.
It's a long one, yeah.
Horse racing. I've got the names mixed up. It was a horse racing. So anyway, we stayed, horse racing. That's all right. So we stayed.
You're gonna be pretty tired after that, huh? Yeah.
I looked at the way.
Wow. What's your name?
Fred.
Fred? I'm Brian. Nice to meet you.
Mrs. Karen.
Hi, Karen. Nice to meet you.
Well done, Brian. Happy days.
Thank you, Mark. Take care. All right. Thank you very much.
I hope it's in a humorous.
You having a nice time?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. He's stalking everyone here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's our paparazzi.
Put that outside.
But that's the way, yes.
And
And yeah, I sometimes respond right away.
And the other.
And then the other.
I guess I should wait till Mom's back.